Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Barely Bookish podcast. Today, we are continuing on with Interview with a Vampire with Candace.
Hi.
That was a lot of wits, right? Like in a row. Like my brain was like, whoa, whoa, where are we at?
I'm not judging you.
It's fine. It worked out. So, jumping right into it, um, my last note that I have of where we left off was so then Lewis is like, fuck you, dog, and dips into his brother's old room with his coffin in tow. So that should set the vibe for the episode we're going to have today.
Yeah. Yeah, it's brutal.
Mm-hmm. So honestly, at this point, we're realizing that um, Lewis, Lewis,
Louis.
Louis,
Mm-hmm.
Louis, and Lestat are very weird roommates.
Yeah. Not in love.
Not in love. Makes me sad.
I mean, one-sided love. I imagine Lestat does love Louis.
Probably. I
Yeah.
mean, Lestat really has colonizer energy, though.
Big colonizer energy. Big colonizer energy, both
Yeah.
with the enslaved people and with the white people that live in this place that he's decided
Mm-hmm.
he's going to take over.
Yeah.
He's like, all of this is mine now. This is my money to spend as I like. Louis like, he's just out there spending money. I don't even know on what. We're vampires. We don't need any of that shit. But he's spending it.
Have you heard about my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ? Let me convert you to Christianity really quick.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Do you
That's
have
the energy.
tithes? Are there dues? Like, God. Like, he's so extra. And then, like, he has, like, his dad who's, like, such a time suck. And, like, what?
Mhm.
Like, it's not this old man's fault that he's old. That's not his fault,
Yeah.
right? He's just living his life. He's doing his
Mhm.
best, you know? But his son is terrible. And Louis is like, can you take care of your dad, please? And he's like, no, leave me alone. I'm too busy living my life. You take care of my dad. Like,
Yeah.
what?
What?
Who says these things?
I don't know. Sat's just like a terrible person.
He is.
Um,
He's the worst.
it's truly the worst. And then, yeah, basically Louis trying to become a money manager. It's not going well because
Ridiculous.
the stat does not want to be managed.
No, at all. At all.
I'm reading this King Medeus retelling.
The gold?
Medeus? Yeah, Medeus or
Midas.
Medeus? Midas. Oh my god.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I'm reading this retelling and it's really like right now talking about money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking about that because basically this king's like, oh, I could just, get more gold at any point, like ruin the economy, but whatever, I can
Yeah.
just,
It'll be
you
fine.
know. That's the stats energy is he's like, I could just get more money. I'll just turn, that guy seems like he has a lot of money. What if we just made him a vampire? It's like, whoa.
Yes. Yes. Like, that escalated quickly. You can't be king of all vampires. So that's like, challenge accepted.
Yeah.
Watch me.
He's like, I'll just gatekeep and girl boss my way to
That's
becoming
literally, and
rich.
that's literally what he's doing. And Louis is just like, you know what? Who am I to say what he can and cannot do? Like, no, bitch, step in the ring, Louis. Tell him
Literally.
what's what. It's your money. You know he's
Yeah.
wrong. Like, yeah, this book has quickly turned into a Jerry Springer episode.
You are not the father.
No. Oh my goodness.
Is that Jerry Springer? I said that, but I'm not convinced.
Maury
that
Povich is You Are Not the
Oh.
Father. Yes. Same thing, though.
Same
Same
energy.
situation. Yes. This week on Maury Povich, we're talking to toxic roommates. This roommate came in this person's house, kicked in the door, decided he was going to own all of his possessions, moved in his elderly father, refuses to take care of him, and now he wants alimony because the two of them are splitting up. Literally this book right now. Literally this book. And no, before you ask, they're gay, but not with each other. Like, okay, good.
They've only slept together once.
And it seemed to be a little non-consensual. So,
Yeah.
more on that later. Lots to
Louis
unpack.
says he regrets it.
Just so extra.
Oh my God.
And then there's the boy that's like the audience eating popcorn. And then what did you do?
Yeah,
I try to have an interview with this boy. This boy is like, this is not what I thought I was getting into when you told me at the bar that you were a vampire. I thought I was just gonna have a nice leisurely night of talking to a crook that like lives on the street next to me. Like I didn't think it was gonna be all of this. Okay, I had like 20 minutes penciled in for tonight. We've been here for 5 hours already.
I forget that like there's an interview going on at the same time. Like I just always it's like Princess Bride. You forget that like this is a grandfather telling his grandson this story. And so
Absolutely.
he's like, "Ah, yes, where were we? Oh yeah, the pit of despair."
And you're like, oh, right. Yeah, 100% those vibes in this book. This boy asks really good questions, though. I will give him that.
Mhm.
Like, I feel like he's asking way better questions than I would have asked if I were in this situation. I
Oh
would have
yeah.
just been so distracted by him being a vampire, I would have just shut up the whole time and not said anything. This kid at least remembers to
Yeah.
be like, yeah, but what about, you know what I mean? He's like asking really good. It's a pretty solid interview as interviews go.
I
Like,
need
he's getting a
tips
lot
from
out of
him.
his subject. Yeah, he's getting a lot out of his subject.
Yeah. I am terrible at interviewing. So I really need that tips before I start contacting authors and be like, "Hey, you want to be on the podcast?"
Uh, let me know. I'll help you. I
Thanks,
like to
friend.
interview. Mhm.
Appreciate that because I am like, all right, can we like, anyway, it's fine, it's fine. So Louis is killing only animals while Lestat is looking for victims that will destroy families because
Yes.
that's his kink, I guess.
Yeah.
I more on
He's
that.
he's trying to do the most damage. I think so. When you read the Vampire Lestat,
Hmm.
it's a sequel, but it's also like a prequel, kind of,
Hmm. Okay.
to this book. And it gives you like the whole history of like why Lestat is a jealous bitch, and why he
Mm.
is so like emo, and why he's got like all these problems, and how his heart has been broken, and blah blah blah. How he was made a vampire. There's like a whole segment on that,
Mhm.
and it's been forever since I've read it, but I don't remember it excusing this awful behavior from book one. I really honestly don't. But I think that's why he's like all obsessed with like making a family and then also like deconstructing other families, because
Mhm.
he himself feels invalidated by his own kinship.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's what I think. Yeah.
I mean, I'll say this. I love when you get the point of view of a villain. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the
Agreed.
time it doesn't excuse them, but
No.
like give it to me anyways, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you want to know their side of the story. They might have
Mhm.
reasonable points.
I read the prequel book about Snow from the Hunger Games.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Very
Satisfying.
good.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I loved it. I if you okay, little plug for YA book chat. I discussed it over there with Leah, so like listen to the episode. But it is very good. I really
Awesome.
liked it. Like it
Okay.
got like mixed reviews because it was not like the most hard hitting literature, but I enjoyed it. So because here's the thing, you're like seeing this kid, he's like normal, 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 and then like sharp detour and declining happens very quickly at the end,
Right.
which I think that's how most people's descent into madness goes. So I'm not mad.
Well, I mean, that's what happened to Anakin Skywalker. So that
Hmm.
checks out.
Yeah, I'm cool with it.
Mm-hmm.
You get your peak of like why, and then you just sharp decline, which whatever.
Well, I mean, like, once you figure out you're on the slippery slope, it's like, well, I can keep struggling and be tired forever, or I can just go where I'm probably going to go anyway.
Yep.
I feel like it's better to do number two. At least then you've, like, built up your strength to be an awesome villain, instead of
Hmm.
losing all of that strength and focus trying not to be a villain for a long time.
And I'll say it. Um, Jedi's are kind of babies, and the Sith sounds pretty cool. Like when you become an adult, you're like,
Yeah.
you know, I don't
I
blame
have a
them.
I have a lot of opinions on
Mm-hmm.
Sith versus Jedi, and I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to derail your podcast. So just remind me later to do a deep dive with you on
That,
my Sith
that
and
can be a
Jedi
Patreon
feelings.
episode
I
of
think
your.
so. I think so. Especially having just watched Tales of the Jedi, lots of
Mhm.
feelings,
I haven't
lots of
watched that. I
theories.
just this is going off of my own opinions from when I watched Star Wars religiously as a child.
Yeah.
But I need to get in because I really liked seeing Ahsoka, so I need to watch the Clone Wars. I just haven't committed yet.
Listen, okay, if you want to watch the Clone Wars and have the best time of your life,
Hmm.
because you will, the
Hmm.
first season is very difficult to get into because it's obviously for
Yeah.
children. Like, it's a hardcore
Yeah.
kids show. But once they get into season 2, it's clear that it's not what they're trying to do. And by the time you get to season 6, the final season, you're just like, oh, okay, so this isn't for kids at all. This is just
Okay.
this is a cartoon for adults. Got it.
Mhm.
But if you want to do that, I highly recommend it. Watch episode 1,
Mhm.
get all the way through it, hate it so much, be like, this is some trash. Watch episode 2,
Mhm.
and then when you finish that and you think you can't take any more and you want to scratch your eyeballs out, start Clone Wars, and then you'll feel better.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good to know. Because I started Clone
Yeah.
Wars and I watched like the first couple episodes, and then
Yeah,
the
you got to
hurricane hit.
get
So
so get past those because they're not easy. Like Ahsoka
yeah,
going master every 5 minutes is not cute.
no, it's
It's
not
not
so
fun
bad.
at all. It's
Yeah.
terrible. But once you get there, it's awesome because that was my
Okay.
biggest problem with the prequels is that like Anakin Skywalker just goes like bad out of nowhere and is like angry all the time for no reason and just comes across just generally like whiny and terrible. But
Mhm.
when you watch Clone Wars, you realize that there's been a very, especially with this new segment too, this Tales of the Jedi, like that fills
Mhm.
in even more blanks
Mhm.
from that era. You quickly start to understand exactly what's going on and the concerted effort that someone is taking to deceive like all these important people in the galaxy. Like it's really just dastardly, and it
Mhm.
makes the betrayal of Chancellor Palpatine like even worse. Like it just like it's wild. It's really good though. Highly recommended.
Okay.
Yeah.
I try and find like when I used to go to the gym all the time, I'd have a gym show.
Hmm.
So it'd be my show I could only watch when I'm at the gym to make me want to go.
Good incentive.
Yeah, which
Hmm.
was what was my last one? It was Lower Decks. If you haven't seen the
I
Star Trek, oh,
love that
it's
show.
so good. I've been
I
seeing the
love that
latest
show.
season.
Oh, it's so good. There's so much. If you like Rutherford,
Hmm.
like the cyborg,
Yeah.
if you like Rutherford, this is the season for you.
Oh, I love him.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you're a big Star Trek fan in general, there's a lot of flashbacks that are just fantastic. Highly recommend. Yes. Love season 3. So good.
Back to Interview with the Vampire. So Lestat is basically trying to risk his life to kill this boy at the other farm. So like they're like kitty corner to another
Yeah.
farm. It sounds like.
Yeah.
So for whatever reason, because this is the only boy in this family,
Yep.
the entire family depends on this boy. Lestat's like, yeah, that one, I'm gonna kill him.
Yep.
And Louis is like, don't do that.
Stop
Do
being
not do that.
terrible. Yep.
Yeah. Like, there's no reason out of the blue. The stats like, you know what? Just like cause a bit of chaos, like spice up my life a little bit.
And
Murder.
he's like, I don't even care. Those Freniers, like, I'm taking all their money. Like, I need the Frenier money. I need the Frenier fortune, and I'm gonna go do it. And Louis like, but they're nice people. Like, there's no reasoning
Yeah.
with this. There's no reasoning with Lestat at all. Like, he's like
No.
that. He's like that house guest that'll just never leave. Like, what about Bob? That's what it's like.
Yeah. Literally though. So bad. So basically, Lestat decided the way they're gonna do this is via a duel.
Yes.
So the boy wins the duel, and Lestat's like, "Well, Rip, you're still gonna die."
And Louis like, please don't do it. Please don't do it. Please don't do it.
Yeah.
And then like the fact that they run out of time. I want to say like reading that I don't remember the first time that I read it because it's been such a long time, but like rereading it to talk to you, like I
Mhm.
was sweating. I'm like
I
reading
know.
this and I'm just like, yo, y'all are both gonna die. I know that you don't because there's a whole ass book, but still, like y'all are about to die. This is about to get real dicey. Like, dude is like murdering this kid, like, and the sun is 5 seconds from coming up, like 0.5 seconds away from cresting over the mountaintop, and this kid's like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to take out one more person before I go to bed. Just one more. I know the
Yeah.
duel's at dawn. I'm cutting it close, but I'm just going to, for good measure. I'm like, what happened to all the rules that you try to lay out like 3 pages ago to Louis about why he needed to sleep with
Mhm.
you in the coffin? All that's just out the door already.
Out the
Like,
window.
no wonder Louis has had like a hard time. And like, we're like 30 pages in. Louis is like, when are you going home? Like, no time.
Yeah.
No time.
I will say too, I have no trust that a main character will survive after I read I'm not gonna I mean most people if you were really into YA dystopian books will know exactly what I'm talking about. But I believe it was by Veronica Roth. Let me double check that before I actually commit to saying that. But I will never assume that the yeah, it's by Veronica Roth that the main character will survive ever again.
Oh my god.
Because yeah, at the end of the book,
Oh no. And you
uh-huh,
spend all this time thinking everything's fine?
uh-huh.
Oh.
And then the last like couple pages of the book, you assume, okay, yeah, they're gonna make it out of here. Mm-mm,
No.
mm-mm. The last couple pages of the book is a completely different point of view
Oh my
from
god,
another
no.
character who's like after the funeral, and I'm like, yeah, I
No.
have no trust. I have
Yeah, you
no
can't.
trust. That put the stakes so high
Yeah.
for all situations I've ever been in.
Yeah, I can feel that. I feel that. That would give me trust issues.
Hmm. So Louis scared the rest of the family into staying home so Lestat would not kill them,
Yeah.
which fair.
That's like his first moment talking to like Babette in a serious way. And like as he's like communicating with her, I'm like, why didn't you try to like lock things down with this Babette girl when you were still alive? Like, why are you so like depressed that you couldn't like notice this beautiful woman that lives next door to you? But that's fine. That's like a whole other book.
Yeah, right. Louis not noticing anything ever.
Yes.
I know, like later on the interview, kid is like, so like, were you like in love with her? And Louis is like, I mean, maybe.
I
I don't
mean,
know.
I'm not in love with her.
Yeah.
Well, it's too late now.
I assume him just
Now she thinks
blushing.
you're a handsome ghost. So
Hmm. Yeah. Right now, and then later she's gonna think you're the devil, so
basically, like
we'll
your
see how
time has
this goes.
passed, bro. Like you missed your
Facts.
ship.
Big facts. So now the enslaved people are starting to get suspicious, and Lestat decided to handle this problem by just killing off anyone that asks a question.
So like reading this part, I remember just very much being like when I was younger, I didn't have a frame of reference for how things were written. I just kind of accepted it. But now that
Hmm.
I'm older and I've read like so much like so many like slave narratives, I've read so many like black authors like kind of accounts of slavery. I've read new takes
Hmm.
on slavery by more modern black authors.
Hmm.
Like the way this was written is so like dicey. Like it's like a little uncomfortable to read Anne Rice talking about enslaved people. Like Louis is like I mean like he's saying nice things, right?
Hmm.
But the way he's saying them like sucks. So he's like, I should have taken the enslaved people, I should have taken the slaves more seriously. Like I misunderstood just because they don't speak the language that I speak and have a completely different countenance, which terrified me. Like I wasted
Yeah.
so much time being scared of these black people instead of getting to know them and realizing that they're like actually really smart, and they're like arguably smarter than us because like they have both like a grounded like earthly side, and they're
Hmm.
really in touch with their like spirituality and like their the supernatural elements of this world, and they like
Hmm.
figured us out in 5 seconds flat because they're so smart. Like he's basically talking about like how like the slaves like have eyes and looked at them and
Hmm.
went nah, right? Like that's literally like every black horror movie
Yeah.
today is glance nah and then it's over. Right? Like
Hmm.
that's literally like the joke now.
Yeah.
And this book is written like in what, the 70s, I think, like the late 70s early 80s. This book is being written about a man like in like the 1700s. And like
Hmm.
it's just hilarious to think that like black people being like that's not kosher, right? Something's wrong with
Yeah.
that situation is something that like this author is like acknowledging has been the thing for like 350 years at this point. I was like, thank you so much. Thank you so
Hmm.
much for recognizing that that is the gift of my people. We do in fact go at stuff all the time. No, I will not be going into that closet alone. No, I will not.
I remember we went to go see my mom used to be really into doing these like going to model homes things, and there was one of them that had a what I can only describe as a Coraline door,
No.
and it was locked.
No.
And
Double no.
I was like, "Oh, that's really cool." And my siblings who had just like recently watched Coraline with me, they're like, "Are you stupid?" Um
anything could be behind there.
Yeah. They're like, what are you doing? And I'm like, storage. It's across.
As someone who grew up north, like I had a
Mhm,
friend whose grandparents had because I'm from Pennsylvania. So I grew up
mhm,
in a place that had like there's a lot of historical sites up there and stuff like that, like Washington Crossing the Delaware. Like there's like a whole area on both sides of the Delaware in different places where you can kind of go and celebrate and stuff like that. There's like um there's a Washington's Crossing like actually by the place where I grew up and stuff. So a friend of mine, her grandmother inherited a house that had been in their family for generations,
mhm,
and like since colonial times and stuff. And she like it's just been passed down and passed down and passed down. And they were their family actually helped people, enslaved people, escape during the Underground Railroad. So there's like there are connective tunnels into some of those houses that people have had to like brick up or like put concrete in, because
yeah,
they would connect houses that were both friendly. So if somebody
mhm,
came to get raided, they could like move quickly to the next house next door and be safe. So I
yeah,
remember like I was a little kid and my friend like invited me over, and I think I might have been like 7 or 8 years old. And she was like,
mhm,
Candace, I can't wait to show you. Like, my family has this awesome house. I was like, okay. So like I go to the house and we're playing games and it's really cool. And like I liked basements and stuff as a kid. Like they
mhm,
didn't scare me or anything like that unless they were very dark and unfinished, in which case I'm not going in your basement even if you pay me. Um so I remember like really struggling as a child to like understand this house, because the second I walked in I got a weird vibe and I was like,
mhm,
I don't know. And then she like showed me all of these tiny doors in weird random places all over the house. Like there's some in the attic, there were some in the
mhm,
kitchen, there were some in each bedroom. Like there were just like these weird, and like there were different sizes and shapes and stuff too. Like
mhm.
it didn't look normal. And she was like,
Yeah.
I go in here all the time. My sister got stuck one time, but she was fine. And I'm like, no. Then she showed me a dumbwaiter that just goes up and down, right? And she's like, I could
Mhm,
put you in there and send you to the top floor. I'm like, absolutely not. No. So fast forward years later, I like take the archetype of this house, right? And put it
mhm,
into a TTRPG. And so
mhm,
my players are playing as kids who are trying to go through this house or whatever that's that one of their parents owns. But one day they like move something and find this mysterious door and decide to like go inside, and it's a dumbwaiter. I
mhm,
cannot tell you how quickly, because my table was two Latin people and then two white people. The one
mhm.
Latin person that's a woman was like, I'm not dealing with any of this. I'm not touching anything. I'm not looking at anything. I'm not going in anything. I'm not doing any of that. No, I don't care. I know this is a game and I should be taking risks, but I'm not doing it. Everybody else was like, slide open the door. Let's see what happens. So I decided to go up and I was like, there's going to be hell to pay, because you know there's some scary shit that's going to happen to you. If
Mhm,
anybody ever goes into a haunted space or a space that could be haunted in one of my games, trust something terrible is going to happen to you
mhm.
on principle. You should have known better. You
So
shouldn't be surprised.
the worst thing too is that I'm like pretty in tune with like ghosts and stuff, but it takes me like being there to be like, oh, this house is probably haunted.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
like until I'm like in the space, I'm like, oh, la, la, like a white people brain, la 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 la. This is, you know, but then like I'm in the space and I'm like, oh,
Yeah, you like get a vibe when you walk in and you're like, mm,
yeah.
how long do
And
I
I'm
have to
like,
be here?
I think we can go. Like there was one. Okay, I don't know. Like there was this neighborhood by Daniel's parents' house, and I don't know what the fuck was wrong with this neighborhood. But like as soon as you walk into the neighborhood, like the energy, and it's like a normal suburban neighborhood, but it's like the energy, the birds stopped chirping, the wind stopped blowing. It was like I thought like I walked in like the ninth circle of hell. I was like, we need to go. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's wrong here, but something's wrong. I
Nope.
was like, I feel like we're like on a burial ground of some sort. Like I don't know what happened on this land that all these houses are built on, but I
Yeah.
was like, I need us to turn around and leave. Because I
Yeah.
was like, I don't know, like it just felt like something bad was gonna happen. And
Yeah.
nothing's happened in that area that I know of. And I don't know, it like felt like do you ever see Stepford Wives?
Yeah.
Yeah, all of the houses like felt like that. Like they all looked
No.
exactly the same. I don't know. And like it was the way like the animals stopped
Yeah.
everything that like really freaked me out. I was like, Daniel's like longboarding because he's been in this neighborhood before. He had like people that lived in this neighborhood, so he didn't like pick up on the same vibe I was. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's going on here. I'm like, we gotta go. We gotta go. Like, you could not pay me to buy a house in that neighborhood.
No,
Like,
fuck
it
that.
just, I felt like it was gonna blow up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fuck that. Not
Yeah, I
into
don't
it.
know what's wrong with it, but
No.
like, so far nothing's happened. Like, it felt like I don't know, like it felt like a sinkhole or something was like some sort of natural disaster was going to occur,
Yeah.
like quickly. And I was like, I don't know
No.
what's going on here. Don't like it.
I'm a big fan of trusting your instincts when that happens.
Yeah,
Big fan.
yeah.
Mm-mm.
So we turned around and we immediately left. We
Yeah.
longboarded elsewhere.
No, I mean like having vibes like that. Like I went on a trip one time when I was a kid, like in Pennsylvania. Like I said, like almost everything is haunted up north. Like
Hmm.
everything is haunted because everything's so old. Like everybody has died in at least one of these places.
Hmm.
So there was a place that was like right across from like my elementary school, and part of the gifted program they'd have you go out and do excavations, so you'd learn
Hmm.
how to like take rubbings and stuff of gravestones and things like that, because there are houses that are so old they have private graveyards like next to them or behind them up there.
Hmm.
So this one house is like a super old historic house. People still live there. They
Yeah.
still allow people to move in. I don't know if they still do though, because it started to be a problem. Um, but like there was like no one would ever live there for more than like a year. Like 6 months
Hmm.
to a year, people would be like, "All right, well, I'm going to move out," and like we'd never hear from the person who like left. So like there'd be a kid in there, and then one day that kid would just like not be at school anymore, and we'd be like, "Oh my god, what happened to Johnny?" And they'd be like, "Oh, his family moved. They didn't want to stay in the house." So like nobody could stay in this house. So then finally one day this kid comes in, and like I'd known him for a little while. Like he had been in our class for like a month or two,
Hmm.
and he kept falling asleep at school. And so the teacher finally was like, "What is the problem? Like, why are you falling asleep in my class?" And the kid's like, "I can't sleep at night." And like he had these dark circles under his eyes. And my teacher's like, "Why not?" And he's like, "I don't know. I just hear it talking all the time in my room. Like it's like yelling kind of, but it feels really far away. And my parents never hear it, but I hear it every night." And so like I remember just being like chilled to the bone by that. This is like third
Hmm.
grade, right? I'm like dead cold inside. So years later, like 3 years later, I'm in sixth grade, and we go to do the etchings and stuff and the rubbings at that house because the new owners are like, "Yeah, you can come in here." They have a kid, they have two kids that go to school, one of them with me. So we're like at this new kid's house because like the other kid had moved out already, doing the etchings and stuff. And the kid like didn't want to like touch anything, and everybody's like, "Why not?" He's like, "Because sometimes I see a Native American man just like walking around my house at night, and like I always call out to him, but he like never stops. He just like goes right past my room and down the hall. And like
Hmm.
I see him all the time." And so I remember everybody just like looking like, "What the fuck?" Right? Because like none of us had actually heard of anyone seeing any of this, right? So all of us are
Yeah.
just there, like freaked out, right? Trying to just like do our homework real quick to get the fuck out of there. So we
Hmm.
all go back, and like I'm in my teacher's trailer, and she looks like visibly disturbed, and I was like, "Mrs. Horvat, what's the problem? Like what is this house?" And Mrs.
Yeah.
Horvat's like, "I'm on the historical society board. That's a house that like is known to have problems. Like multiple people see, like there's a Native American man, there's a colonial woman
Hmm.
ghost that people see and they fight, and then her husband. And apparently something really bad happened there, and somebody was
Hmm.
buried that had like died an untimely death,
Yeah.
and like that house has been haunted, and every single person that's moved into it has had to move out because of like crazy shit that happens in the house and seeing visions and shit, and the kids can never sleep. And like for I mean it's been, I think the last time I heard of somebody saying this, I was talking to a coworker that was from that area, and he said the last
Hmm.
time he left, someone was still living there. So it's just been like a rotation of families
Yeah.
over and over again in this haunted ass house, and it's a house that sits by it like by itself. Like
Hmm.
there's nothing else around it. It's like the house, the graveyard, and then like across the street there's like a nursing home, and then across the street there's like an elementary school, and all the way to the right there's a grocery store, and all the way to the left, but there's like all this land around this house, and like nothing
Hmm.
gets close and nothing grows on the land. It's just like a fucking lot with this house on it. It's so fucked up. It's so scary. And people just keep moving in, and I'm like, "Y'all, who moves into a house with
Yeah.
a private graveyard? I need to know."
Okay. I had friends who did that. They
No.
like moved into a house with its own graveyard and they thought it was the
No.
coolest thing. And I was like,
No. Listen, I love being goth. Okay, I love
Mm-hmm.
goth stuff. I love spooky stories and monsters. Will not
Mm-hmm.
move into a graveyard house. Will not do it.
Correct.
No,
Correct.
couldn't
I
pay me.
have considered moving across the street from Graveyard because there was a very pretty property, and again,
Yeah.
I'm stupid.
Well, that's the closest
But
I'm getting is across the street, and
yeah,
even that's too
yeah,
much.
yeah. I will if it's a if it's a private graveyard, then like the chances of an actual graveyard being haunted slim.
Right.
A private graveyard means they lived in that home.
Yes.
High probability that that house is haunted because that
Yes.
means that, they cared a lot about being in that home.
Yes. Yes. No, that's not for me.
No,
I'm not doing it.
absolutely not. Will
I'm,
not do it.
I will
I
not be
literally,
tricked.
yeah, we didn't know there was a private graveyard at this like girl's house until we had already like gotten to the city to visit them.
Hmm.
And it was the worst night's sleep of my entire life. I was very stressed out.
I can't imagine.
My dog was unhappy. I was unhappy. It was
Mm-mm.
weird. And I was
No.
like, all right. And we like spent one night and we're like, all right, bye. Bye. We'll see you never. Bye.
Yeah, never again. No.
Yeah. They
Intolerable.
have since moved, but yeah. No, I was like, why would you not be like, hey, by the way, graveyard?
Absolutely an important detail to tell your house guests.
Uh huh. Uh huh. Yeah. Yeah. No. And it was like 1800s. Like, there's like four headstones
No.
all in the 1800s. And then, like, this is like a redone house. So, yeah.
No.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
No.
Yeah. Yep. Anyways. Oh,
So
sorry. Go ahead.
so basically you're Babette Frenier
Hmm. Hmm.
going, I guess I trust you. You're in my house. You're not supposed to be. It's the morning, but also kind of the night, and you won't show me your face. But I guess I'll do what you're asking me to do.
Me with my ghost that I had in my house.
Yo, fuck that.
Yeah. Okay, we have to finish this recording though.
We're gonna finish it.
Hmm. Hmm. So then it got to a point where basically the enslaved people started forming a mob, as you do when you're slowly getting picked off.
Of course.
Um, yeah. Lestat's dad is finally dying, and he's like tries to do this whole like, let me talk to my son one last time, and Lestat's like, yeah, no.
No.
Um,
He's not into it.
yeah, no, not at all. And then Louis had to kill the overseer because he saw Lestat, um, like drink blood,
Mm-hmm.
but still didn't drink this guy's blood, which was good.
Yeah.
Louis thought, this will like ward off the inevitable, but again, it was inevitable.
Yeah.
All these people are finally just like revolting.
Yep.
Lestat tells Louis to just kill his dad so they can get out of there, which is just something.
Louis
It's
like, he's
something.
your dad. You kill him. And Lestat's like, that's a monstrous thing to ask. And I'm like, isn't it monstrous asking for fucking patricide though? Isn't that? No?
Yeah.
No? Okay.
Like what?
All
I
right.
know. It's insane.
Sure.
Yeah. And then Louis has to torch his own plantation,
Mm-hmm.
which is just awful.
I mean,
Um,
I'm fine with it. I love seeing rich, wealthy plantation owners have their entire fortune sink. So,
Fair. I
yeah.
meant it on the standpoint of like Lestat not only asked him to kill his dad, but it's also like torch your familial home. You know, like,
I feel like if Louis would have agreed to just murder all the enslaved people, that Lestat wouldn't have asked him to torch it.
yeah,
I,
no, he would have
I
been like, we could just get more. Like,
yeah, I feel like he's very much just like I feel like that in that moment you see how petulant Lestat is.
mhm,
You know what I'm saying? Like he's such a
yeah,
cuz like you know that he's testing Louis. You know that he's like, "Hey, burn your fucking plantation. That's the only solution. Or we can make
mhm.
sure that nobody talks about us ever again." And Louis like, "Burn all the stuff that I don't care about cuz you're already spending through all my money? Great. I'm going to burn it." And
Yeah,
Lestat's like, "Fuck." Like you can tell that he's like, "Please, I was just kidding. Don't." And Louis
yeah.
like, "No, I'm doing it. Fuck it."
I don't blame him. Like,
Me
I would have
either.
done the same thing because, like, at this point, Louis like,
Who cares?
whatever, it's another thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even like
So
these people. I want to go to the city.
yeah, yeah, right. He's like, it's fine. Like, uh, I tried to like make this all work, but obviously, we're gonna just get followed around wherever
Mm-hmm.
we go.
Mm-hmm.
But they have very little time until sunrise. Honestly, they don't plan their days very well. Like they have such a limited amount of time and they're always almost running out.
Always.
You
Eternally.
know?
Such
I'm
just
telling you right now,
sloppy is what it is.
modern day vampires all have camper vans.
Yeah. With blacked out windows and curtains inside.
Mhm.
For sure.
Mhm. Because like, who's going to question you in your little coffin van?
I'm not even a vampire, and that actually sounds like a really great time. You can like work whenever you want to, sleep whenever you want to.
Oh, I'm totally getting a weekend camper van when I actually have money.
Yeah.
Like that's a goal of mine.
Yeah, that's the dream.
Right? I just think it'll be great.
Yeah, no, their planning is terrible, and I'm surprised. That's like the one question I feel the boy has not asked yet is why y'all so bad with time? Every fucking moment of the story, you're like, and then we had to run for our lives. Like,
I
you're
always have like
vampires.
5 minutes
Why
to
do it?
spare.
Yeah, like,
I
why
know.
do it, man? Y'all are like Ferris Bueller or something. Like, just fucking
Facts.
make time. Like, what's wrong with you?
Like at this point, how do you not have like a safe clandestine location? You
Multiple
know?
safe clandestine locations. Like,
Yeah.
Louis could have built like a vault in the ground like 5 minutes into this book and didn't.
Mhm. That's what I would do. Like if I was a vampire and, we live in Florida, okay? Like it's pretty sunny. We're not getting the Edward Cullen
No,
overcast skies,
no,
So I would have multiple safe houses because I like to travel between where I live currently and my friends' houses who live an hour away. Plus,
absolutely.
I like going to Tampa. I like going to Miami. So I
Hmm.
would have a safe house in each of these cities that worst comes to worst, I have somewhere to be.
Yeah, yeah, completely. And like, it's funny too because I feel like modern vampires, worst comes to worst, when in doubt, you've got like a sewer, but that wasn't a thing
Yeah.
in the countryside. Like the closest they have is like the crypt where, or not the crypt, but like the like the prayer room or whatever that Louis built his
Mhm.
brother. That's kind of a crypt, sort of.
Yeah.
But even that, like the enslaved people found out about that shit too, so that's not even safe anymore. Like,
Realistically, modern vampires, if you have your car trunk, you're good.
yeah, that's true. You can crawl in from the back seat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like lock yourself in, hope nobody steals your car, like park in a decent, safe location,
Yep.
and then crawl into your car trunk because there's no light getting through that bad boy.
It's true. That'd be a really funny book. I wonder if anyone's ever written about that. Vampire gets desperate, sleeps in the car gets stolen, vampire has breakfast.
Apparently, there's a self published book about a werewolf, and the wolf gets adopted by a really nice lady because he got caught by animal control. So he gets adopted by this nice lady
Oh my god,
who
no.
I haven't read it. I've just seen people talking about it on TikTok, but
Yeah.
it's like a spicy book.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
you
so
let me
he's
know
like,
when you find that.
yeah, when I figure out which book it is, I'll let you know. But yeah, apparently he goes home with her because he thinks she smells nice. And I'm like,
10 out of
so
10 would read.
same vibe. You know what I mean? Like maybe I'll just like write that down really quick about I had to like do this because otherwise I'm gonna like start writing something that I don't have time for. So I'm just
Hmm.
gonna quickly just jot down. Oh, this pen was uncapped. Hopefully it still works. Let's just vampire sleeps in trunk. Vehicle gets stolen. Okay. Now I can devote my brain space active interview with a vampire. Okay, there we go. I just have to do that for myself because it's like as soon as you start writing again, it's a steep slope,
Yeah,
because then your brain's like, ooh, what if we did? And I just have to jot it down and then I can put it away, you
yeah.
know, make it
I
a
feel
later
that.
problem,
Yeah. Future Rachel.
future Rachel problem. Um, But yeah, so this is the point where uh the interviewer guy asks Louis if he likes Babette, and he's like, I mean, maybe, I don't know, just possibly.
Stop asking me personal questions or whatever. It's like, Louis, this is not the time to be coy. You're telling your life story here, man.
Yeah.
Spit it out.
Yeah, and then Babette lets them stay the night, but she's locks them in her wine cellar, which honestly, good choice.
Very good
Would do the
choice.
same.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then she comes down the next night, and Louis like, wow, she's like so hot though. Like she looked really hot.
She's so pretty. Lestat's like, she's a fucking cow. I hate her. Oh, you like her? I hate her even more. I hate her so much. Ooh, I hate her.
This
Louis
makes me want
like,
to watch.
she gave you a home. And Lestat's like, I don't care. I don't give a fuck. She's
It
terrible.
makes me want to watch Interview with a Vampire, because, or not, What We Do in the Shadows, because I
Uh-huh.
know it's like supposed to be like this interview type style.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Yes.
want to watch it really bad.
Have you seen the movie?
Mm-mm,
Or the TV show?
mm-mm.
Oh, you are in for such a treat.
I know.
You're
My
gonna have the
siblings
best
watched
time.
it.
Yeah, you're gonna have the best time. Start with the movie
Okay.
and then watch the show.
Okay.
Yeah,
Will do.
it's just great.
I've been wanting to watch it since I saw the audio on TikTok where they're like, I can't even speak the name of the vampire who organized this monstrosity. I can. His name is Mike. Fucking Mike. And ever since I saw that TikTok audio, I've been wanting to watch it.
Yeah, it's great. Let me know when you do because it's so
Okay.
fucking funny. Like it slays me too
I'll live
much.
tweet my thoughts to you.
Please.
Um, so things start going downhill fast. Babette is like, I literally heard you killing all of those people. I don't trust you though. And then Lestat's like, I'm getting the carriage ready and we're gonna like get the fuck out of here. Like, we're gonna bolt. And Louis like, I can salvage this relationship.
No, you can't, bro. No, you can't. Let her go. See,
And
and
then
this,
Louis,
then I'd
oh,
argue
sorry.
this is the first time Louis gets somebody killed.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is the first time that like his hubris like just fucks up the situation. And I feel like that's the theme of this book is like Louis fucking shit up. Because Lestat is a petty bitch who can't like handle anybody who thinks for themselves, right? But this is like
Mm-hmm.
one of the first times I think that like Louis should have done something differently to save everybody and instead just ballses it all up, just fucks it right up.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
hard.
Yeah. And then I do like this little tense moment wall break where he's like, okay, maybe I should stop the story here. And the interviewer's like, keep going.
The boy's like, please, I'm in it now.
You know,
Yeah.
pulling
Literally
the
me when I
dark
sit
curtains
down.
closed.
Yeah. Fucking, literally me anytime I sit down to like read a chapter of a book and then I'm like, oh
Mm-hmm.
no, I gotta keep going. Sorry. All right. Well,
Mm-hmm.
RAP me waking up at 9 a.m.
Vibe. That's been me with this Matthias? Mateus? Midas. Jesus Christ. Midas. The King Midas retelling.
Yes.
It's hard because it's a D. How am I supposed to know? It's Midas.
Yeah. I agree
Hard
though,
D.
like, hard D.
We're
Don't mind me, just 12 years old. No big deal.
children.
So then Babette's like, you're a fucking demon. And Louis like, no, but I promise I'm not a demon, but I am really nice. Like, okay. He's
like,
like,
I
remember
saved your
all those
brother.
times that I didn't eat you? Remember that? You remember that time I was in your house and I didn't feast on your blood? Well, I mean, that's got to count for something, right? She's like, no, get out of my house.
Honestly, the most like reasonable person in here is Babette.
Yes. She's like, listen, I just want to like take care of my family's estate in peace. I understand that you were a homie and you were like, listen, girl, they're going to come and try and take your stuff. You got to be steadfast. You got to put your foot down. You got to fucking girl boss this shit because somebody's going to come and try and take everything you've got just because there's no man on this plantation anymore. And like, she steps the fuck up, right? It's a proud moment for women of all kinds. However, then they go back, they double back and make her fucking crazy. And I'm like, it would have been really great if you could have just like left that woman alone to like do her thing and just like be a successful fucking person. Granted, she's
Yeah.
no better than anybody else. I can't really feel sorry for her. She still owns slaves and is mad disrespectful to the black community. However,
Yes.
as a lady type person, right? As a
Hmm.
lady shaped person, I will say that I admire the fact that he tried to be an ally to her and like give her that information, but her Christianity just fucked it right up. Which like Christianity
Hmm.
fucking up the feminist agenda, tale as old as time, right? like on par. This is what I'm saying. This book is like so old and it's been written. Like it was
Hmm.
written so long ago, but like all of the things it talks about are still absolutely current events. Like I feel like that's so
Yeah.
hilarious to me because it's not a book that's trying to be like it's not a book that's trying to have like discourse about the state of things presently, but it
Hmm.
succeeds just in talking about the same shit that we're dealing with now that people were dealing with then and in the 1700s. Like it's just nonsense. Like it's so crazy to me.
Do you think about like right now? I'm kind of thinking about the Good Place, where they were like, "It's not that hard to get into heaven," and then they go down to the earth, and she's like, "I bought an apple and I lost 10 points because it came from a
Yes.
farm that underpays their workers."
Yes.
Like, that's how I'm feeling about like being proud of Babette, but also being like, she still owned people,
Yes. Yes.
you know,
Yes.
like girl boss, but also like now I kind of feel bad, like.
Girl boss who gaslights and gatekeeps.
Uh-huh.
Literally. Literally. This is the gate that you cannot leave because you belong to me because you're a person who's also somehow an object. So
Yep.
you stay right there. Like, okay.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah.
So Louis, after giving this girl a mental break, proceeds to have his own mental break, and like talks down about like how he doesn't know who he is, what he is, all this stuff. She tries to light him on fire. That doesn't really work.
Nope.
Lestat then drinks from Babette, but Louis saves her in time, which, really causes her to go crazy.
Yep.
And then he decides that they're going to Nola. They paid someone to get them drinks, and Lestat's definitely going to kill this person when they get
Hmm.
back. But now they're in New Orleans, which is honestly probably a better place. Like, if you're a vampire, you should not be in a rural countryside.
No.
Like, you'll get found out so quickly.
Yeah, it's a real poor choice, especially in a time when you like it's normal to have a bunch of people around you all the time waiting on you hand and foot.
Mm-hmm.
I will say though, I mean, we talked about this a little bit last time, but I admire Louis' like little sick boy routine that he did. The draw the curtains. I can't be seen in the light. Like I'm a really big fan of that.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's like the one good way to be a vampire is just by being
Yeah.
generally sickly. Because back in the day, like lots of people were generally sickly because like a paper cut could take you out. So like literally
Mhm.
anything, you could be in bed and people would be like, "Yeah, it seems right. Yeah, yeah, he's fine."
I like the idea that nobody thought to like look into that further.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they have no reason to not believe, right? They're just like,
Yeah.
seems legit. Like,
They're like, yeah, that sounds about right.
and Louis like, "See, I can't die, damned forever." I'm just like, boy, you chose this. Like, I feel like there's like, this is like, he's like the ultimate like cis white guy sometimes. Like,
Mm,
having a bunch of power and money like didn't make him happy, right? Then
yeah.
like not having any power or money didn't make him happy. Now he has power and can take as much money as he wants. Still not happy. Never happy. Forever sad.
Yeah.
Just forever miserable and can't like recognize the position that he's in. Like sometimes, and I feel like because this is all being told from Louis' perspective, like if there were a book that was the same exact book but written from Lestat's perspective, it would
Mhm.
be hilarious. Because he would just complain about how like Louis is just like a bitch baby the whole time. He'd be like, "Listen, all I'm trying to do is secure a future for us, make sure that we have a roof over our heads, make sure that we're fed. All right, I'm not
Mhm.
doing anything crazy. I'm not profiling anybody. I'm taking a look at somebody and saying, you know what, they look delicious, and I just have a little bit. Like, I'm not doing anything crazy." And Louis like, "You're out there fucking raping and pillaging the masses. Like, you're taking everybody out." And Lestat's like, "I am just doing what it is in my nature to do. I am a lion that is lioning. That's all I'm doing. All right. I'm not getting crazy. I'm not taking more than I need." Like, there's like no middle ground between these two men.
Yeah.
None.
Literally though. Have you seen the TikTok video of the Gen Z vampire?
No.
Oh my god. Okay. It was like a little skit, and it's like these like it's the Gen Z vampire FaceTiming his parents,
Uh-huh.
and the like FaceTimes his parents, and he's like, "Can I like come home for dinner?" And then the mom's like, "Are you still not going up to people's houses and like drinking from people?" And he's like, "It's like really hard to do nowadays, you know?" And the parents are like, "Why? You just like go up to the house, ask to be invited in." He goes, "You know how many people don't invite me in anymore? They just say, 'Come through.'" Or, he's like, "And I've tried, and that does not count. It doesn't count." He goes, "I can't get into anybody's house." And then the parents like, "No, all you have to do is you have to write them a formal letter asking for a formal
Formal letter.
a formal invitation to their home." And
I
it
don't have a.
works every time.
I can't buy a stamp. The post office closes at 5 o'clock.
And when I find the video again, I'll send it to you. But
Please
it's
do. That's
very good.
adorable.
And I'm just thinking about this right now. What if like Louis and Lestat had a Gen Z vampire in their like little group? Like, how do you think that would go?
Yo, they would be fucking toast, dude. There's a
Yeah.
segment in What We Do in the Shadows in the movie about that where they turn somebody that's young.
Hmm.
And it's hilarious. But like it's just so I can't imagine. Like I can't imagine. Like it's probably awesome being a vampire these days because everything like a lot of stuff is open late.
Hmm.
Like you can like walk up to a McDonald's at any time and there's at least one person outside talking on the phone that you can just like
Hmm.
sneak into the shadows behind the establishment. Um
Hmm.
but at the same time, I'm just like, everybody's on their fucking phone. Now there's like night vision cameras and shit. So people can absolutely take a picture of you doing whatever dirt that you're doing behind that dumpster, right? Someone's totally
Yeah.
filming that for their fucking Instagram live. Like, let's be real, right? Like, it's probably such a nightmare for current vampires.
I would only hope that the not being able to be on camera also applies to video or on mirrors would apply to video cameras because that's the only way a vampire would survive.
I mean, I'd hope so, but at the same time, because cameras are everywhere and because
Hmm.
everybody and their fucking mom now has one on their iPhone, it'd be easier to find out who's a vampire. Because if you're taking a selfie and there's a man behind you and he's not in the picture, like I'm gone. Like I don't care if I'm on a
Yeah.
moving fucking train, dude. I'm Audi 5000. Like I'm done. Like I'm hauling ass. So
Yeah.
like if that is a rule, that's probably worse for vampires because everybody's always taking pictures. Like everybody's being a shithead. Can you imagine being at a funeral? Like there's that
Hmm.
old adage, right? Like that old like cliche where like somebody's at a funeral. It happens on Buffy all the time. They're like in their fancy suit, they're in the coffin, and everybody's like all like, "Oh no, poor Steven, he's gone. Oh no. Ah, vampire!" Right? And nobody sees it coming. Like
Yeah.
there are people out there who are so tacky they will take a fucking selfie with somebody in a casket, be like, "Deuce deuce, grandma, love you so much."
Yeah.
Like, hope you're happy in heaven. Like, it would be really easy to find out who was a vampire if you couldn't see them in pictures. Because everybody's always taking pictures all the fucking time.
Yeah. I don't even know how you do. You'd have to go to like a remote location.
Yeah.
Like you'd have to somewhere that wasn't like there's so few places that don't have like constant video cameras. Like I
Yeah. You'd have
I
to have
don't
like
even know where
primitive,
you'd
either primitive spaces or like that movie slash comic book 30 Days of Night. That would be a really
Mhm.
great place to go. Because
Or
like they go up to Alaska and like they go to like a place where like it's dark for 30 days at a time and they just stay there.
that
That
would
would be
work.
smart.
Or if you did the whole thing where people you like take people on like retreats, you know? And
Oh
then you
man.
can just be like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah.
wellness
Unfortunate
vampire
accident.
coach." Yeah, wellness vampire coach or cult leader. Those are your
Cult leader.
options.
Cult leader, that one's easy. Just buy yourself a big house, fill it with people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Get them high as a kite, maybe they won't remember.
Or you just work it into your lore. You make it part of your mystique.
Yeah, I'd be like, everybody's got to do a blood sacrifice. It's Tuesday. All right, pour it into this little goblet.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
Oh my god. Anyways,
Lots of tangents in this episode.
it's fine. It's fine. Everybody will enjoy it. It's whatever. So Louis believes he's damned. Don't know what gave him that idea, but
Listen, he's been hanging out with Babette too much.
yeah, literally though. It's got a lot of like Christian um I don't remember what that's called, but
Oh
like
yeah, Christian
brainwashing.
guilt. Yeah,
Yeah.
brainwashing and guilt. Poor thing.
Yeah.
I think one of the most interesting things about like this time between him and Lestat, like Lestat's really trying hard to like be a bro and like help him
Mhm.
out of his like pit of despair. He's like, listen, guy, I know you really like drinking rats and stuff. You just like slice one open, you pour it into a wine glass, and you're good. Look at this. Isn't this wonderful? It's wonderful. Drink that. This is awesome. We can do it. And Louis like, I just want to die. And Lestat's like, holy shit, dude, I'm giving you like eternal life right now. Like, I'm giving you eternal life right now. You can like do whatever you want in your life, and you like won't even drink this rat's blood. Like, I just fucking cannot with you. I'm gonna go out. I need to be away from you right now. I can't be in the same room with you.
Lestat's also that guy that's like, oh, you just had like a rough breakup. What if we went to the strip club? Wouldn't
Yeah.
that make you happy?
Lestat is the Barney Stinson of vampires.
And then he like at the strip club and he's just like crying over his ex, you know? Like,
I don't know him. Yes, he is sitting next to me, but I've never met this man before in my life.
he's like, I don't know what's going on. Anyways, lap dancing.
He like brings the two women, like he has those well, I guess I'm skipping ahead, excuse me. I don't mean to skip ahead. But like in the next scene when he's like trying to cheer him up and he's like, look at these girls I got. Louis like, nah, I'm good. I guess one of them's pretty or whatever, but no. I'm just gonna sit here and be sad.
Yeah.
Too depressed.
Tears.
Too depressed to
Rolls
look at these women. The women are like, we don't like you anyway. Like,
down. He's like, your sadness is boring me. And he
it's offensive. Your tears. Offensive. Yeah, him going out in this Louis going out in the streets though. Like to me that's like what happens next is like the biggest just desserts for like all his pouting. Like it was so
Mhm.
shocking to me too. I don't think I saw this coming in the book.
Yeah,
When
I
he's like
definitely
roaming the
didn't.
streets. Yeah, like he's like roaming the streets, sad and miserable,
Hmm.
doesn't know what he's going to do next. He's all crying and shit. It's raining, like it's very dramatic. And like
Yeah.
he like hears the little girl crying and I'm like, what's this about?
Hmm.
The second I read, I hear a little voice. I'm like, no, don't do it, buddy.
I'm like, oh god.
Don't do it, buddy. It's not worth it.
Yeah. It's like, So then this 5-year-old girl is crying beside the body of her dead mother,
Gross.
begging Louis to do something. But like this mother's like already decaying.
Like hardcore dead.
Yeah. Like I don't know how long this girl's been here, you know.
Yeah,
And
and she's
then
like filthy and too. Like she's
yeah,
like the whole place is just full of squalor.
yeah. And then Louis, because he's like out of his mind because he's so like he's hangry
Mm-hmm.
and like I don't know, he's a dirtbag,
Yeah,
just like the saddest. He decides that the best course of action is to drink from this child.
such poor choices.
Yeah.
Like he won't drink from Babette, who's a grown ass woman that's already been bitten and already blooded.
Hmm.
But I am going to drink the life essence of this actual child.
Yeah.
And then can't stop himself.
Hmm.
Like, is having too good of a time drinking from this child. And like it's funny because when I was younger, like when the first time I ever read this, I was a kid. Like I was far too young to probably be reading this. But my mom had that rule about not watching anything rated R unless I read the book. So I was like, I'm going to apply myself so I can see this sexy looking movie. Um,
Hmm.
I don't know what
Fair.
sexy is, but I'm pretty sure it might be that.
Yeah, whatever.
And like I remember thinking like, well, you're 10 and 5 is only half of that. So that's not weird. And now I'm an adult and I'm like, no, this is gross. Now I'm like, no, this is a problem. 5-year-olds are in preschool. They cry when you leave them home by themselves. Like this is not, why are you drinking from this
Yeah.
actual toddler? Like,
Yeah. Or it's like
yeah,
when when you're reading YA books when you're like middle school, high school, and you're like, oh my god, like she's 18 and he's like 300. Which like again, I feel like they should be older than 18. But
yeah,
it's an inevitability if you have an like immortal life. You're never gonna date someone your age.
right.
And I'm, cool with it. I hate when people shame people for enjoying that type of content. But I will say freshly turned 18. Why are all these vampires going to high school? Go to college.
Seriously.
No one's going to catch on to you in college.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah. You can literally
I
be a student forever. Just go to
Yeah, no
different
one's gonna
colleges.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you could just be like, "Oh, yeah, I got a degree here, and then I moved to California for a little bit." Like,
Yep.
nobody would know. You can go
No.
to college forever if you really wanna go to a school for some reason.
Agree. High school? Nah. I'm good.
No. You could
I'm
not
okay.
pay me to
No.
go back to high school.
No, you could not. No.
And, like,
No.
people start rumors all the time. You're telling me nobody would figure out that you're a vampire?
Everybody would know.
Yeah.
Listen, like if you're talking about like millennial Gen Z times, right, or current events, everybody
Mhm.
would know instantly if you can't take pictures. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go, right there.
Right?
Like already obsolete.
I saw this thing where it said, if it was a TikTok and it was a skit that, um, oh my god, what's his name? From in Twilight, the guy who's like really beefy and strong, that vampire. I can't remember his name. It starts with an E. Emmett.
Yes.
Emmett. That he'd be like a influencer, like a fitness influencer on TikTok, and like would he'd be like a streamer and would 1000% let it slip that he was a vampire.
Yes. Would not be
Like all of
careful at
his
all.
fans would know, and
Yes.
everybody would just be like cool with not saying anything.
What you're going to want to do is a high protein breakfast. Here's how to make a shake with blood. I mean tomato juice. Yeah. Tomato
Yeah,
juice. That kind of shit. 10 out of 10 can see it for sure.
yeah. I feel like if I found out an influencer like admitted the fact that they were a vampire and that's why they have like the gorgeous cheekbones, it's not Botox,
Hmm.
I'd be like, yeah, I could see that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't
I'd be
think I would
fine with it. I
immediately.
think I'd be fine with it
Yeah,
too.
I don't. I would not be mad. I'd be like, "What's your diet, though? Like, are you killing people, or is this consensual? Because if it's consensual, whatever.
Yeah,
You do
like what
you
am I
do.
gonna say? Yeah, like it's none of my fucking business what you're doing.
Yeah, yeah. Now, if you're murdering, that's going to be a
Mm.
problem. You know?
Yeah, but who are you murdering? You're murdering bad
Yeah.
guys?
Bad guys.
Dexter of vampires? Okay,
Yeah. Cool.
all right.
It's fine.
Do
I'm cool
you?
with it.
Yeah. If I'm
If
ever on your
you,
list, just give me a heads up because I probably didn't do it. So
yeah, if your whole thing is that the people who didn't get brought to justice for raping women,
yeah, I'm here for you,
kill
buddy.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
Oh my god. Anyways.
So like he's like mid drink of this child and like her heart is like beating so fast and so hard and like Anne Rice is one of those writers like Stephen King that just like goes on for 17,000 pages about like one thing, and so she's like
Mhm.
really going in about this like beating heart, and I'm just like, yo, this is a small child, especially because in the movies, like for obvious reasons, movies tend to age characters up, so when you watch the
Mhm.
movie, like Kirsten Dunst is like 12, I think, in the movie, and she's supposed to
Mhm.
be a 10-year-old. They like double her age instead of her just being 5, which is better because it's really hard to read a 5-year-old going through all this. And then
Mhm.
fucking Lestat comes. Man, of all the people to find Louis, like of all the people, I feel like it would have been better for a random stranger to have found him than Lestat. Like
Yeah.
this man is never going to hear the end of it.
No. No,
He's
he's not.
never.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nope.
oh, look at me. Fucking big tough Louie. Oh, I can't drink rats, Lestat. Me, me, me. What about the rats? But I'll drink a child. Ha ha ha. Like the rest of the book, he's going to be like, remember that time you drank a kid? That was wild.
Listen. Listen. If all of my friends became vampires and did like dumb shit, you have eons. Eons that you can like pick at them for it, you
Oh my
know?
God.
Because
That's probably
I
the
pick at
worst
my
part.
friends. I pick at my friends for things they did like 10 years ago, you know?
No, I understand that. It would be hard to do.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. I'm not a bigger person. I would 1000% bring it up all the time. I'd be like, "Do you remember when you started World War IV? Because you
I
thought it'd be
was
a good
there.
idea." Yeah, I was standing next to you. Okay, yeah, and remember how you told me that you could handle it and you could totally simmer down the situation, and then all of the countries of the world got involved. Yeah, because I do.
Mm,
I
hmm.
remember that.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
you remember when you got Area 51 on us? Because I do. I remember that. Do you remember when you leaked that we were all vampires and then we had to move countries and live in Portugal for 7 years? Because I do.
Fucking vampires have these like super impressive names. Vlad the Impaler, right? Like
Yeah.
yours is fucking like Jojo the Big Mouth shithead. That's what we're calling you now for 3 centuries. All right, history books will be written about you, and that's what they're gonna
Hmm.
call you.
Hmm. Yep. Yep. That's
Oh
what I
my
would do.
god.
Because, oh my God. Mm-mm. That's how you know you're friends, though, is you just never let it go. Never.
Yeah, that's true. That's the best of friends.
Yeah. So, kid's still alive, which
Yep.
is good. But Louis then like shifts gears to like describe what it's like being a vampire every time they go to bed. And he
Mm-hmm.
says it feels like they're being like put under anesthetic, but somehow Lestat always gets up before him.
Yep.
So I'm like, is Lestat drugging him?
Good question. Or maybe it's something that like he needs to wait. Like maybe he needs to like figure out how to wake up better. I don't know. Like I feel like we don't get an answer to that question in this first part of like why
Yeah.
Lestat is always so much more alert.
Yeah. I'm like, unless it's something you learn with age how to manage, I don't know.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that supposition though is like perfect for going right into the next scene. Like Louis
Mm-hmm.
comes home from being all miserable and shit. Because like when he's with the child, Lestat finds him and like makes fun of him and like is shitty and like talks a bunch of shit at Louis and makes fun of the fact that he's like drinking from a kid and then like dances with like the mom's body and shit and
Yeah.
there's like blood like coming out of her mouth like this black fluid and shit like all over the place and
And
Louis
this
just
kid's like passed out on the
yeah.
ground.
Louis like, I gotta go. This is too much even for me, right? This is a lot. I just drank a child and even this is too much. So he's like roaming around the city, which like I feel that, right? He's like doing some, some soul searching. But then
Hmm.
like when he gets back to the fucking room and Louis got these like two hookers in there, and they're like all. I mean, Lestat has his two hookers in there, and they're like all over him, right? And Louis just like in the corner, like, ugh, I hate this party. Like I've been that person at so many fucking college parties, I can't even tell you. Like my friends are all partying, having a good time, and I'm just in the corner, like, leave me alone. I just want to sleep. Does anyone have blackout curtains I can put around just my dorm bed, please? I'm so over this. I don't want to do this anymore. I just want to go home. That's Louis the whole time. Like just losing his fucking mind. Like thinking about leaving and then Lestat looks at him like, don't you dare fucking leave. And he's like, I just want to go to bed.
Literally, though.
And these women are like not noticing that this man is cold as ice. Like they say, like, oh my God, your icy skin. Your skin is so cold. I'm like, and y'all just like drinking up. Like it's fine. Like people are
Yeah.
just like overindulging. Like he like sucks the blood of one of the women. She passes out. The other lady's like, she's a bitch. She can't handle you. Not like
Yeah.
me. I'm like, ma'am,
Like, girl, what?
get your life together. Put your clothes back on and go find
Literally.
a new job. Like, what are you doing?
Literally. Oh my God. I was,
Prostitutes should be alert. Okay.
yeah, you gotta read those red flags, okay?
Hello. Oh
If
my
you're
God.
gonna do sex work, you need to know that this is a little
Yes.
spooky.
Like this is really bad. And then all of a sudden he's warm and she's like, see, I warmed you up. I'm like,
She's really putting in the effort, though. I gotta hand it to her.
for sure. She's like
Yeah.
earning her money, but she's not going to be able to keep it. I will
Yeah.
say though, like, I think the reason that this came across so ridiculous to me, and this isn't
Hmm.
something that I really realized until like half the way through the scene, is like we're not dealing with electricity, right? We're not
Hmm.
dealing with like light switches and stuff
Yeah.
at this point. We're dealing with like candlelight, right? Like
Hmm.
in this room where like these two women are and where Louis is and where Lestat is, like their eyes are fine because they have like their vampire vision or whatever and they can see even in the darkest
Hmm.
dark. But the women are there and like everything is candlelit and like it's something that I've never really considered before. Like the idea of like obviously when all the lights are on in a room, you feel safer because you feel like you can see everything, right? But
Hmm.
when you live in a time where that doesn't exist, you have to like acclimate to feel safe in candlelight. But
Yeah.
candlelight has so many shadows. Like it throws all kinds of shadows against every surface. So can you imagine like being this lady? Like of course you're not noticing that your friend is like bleeding out like next to you because there's like a candle like lighting just her face and she looks like she's sleeping, right? You're not going to
Uh-huh.
realize that there's like this dark pool of blood like under her shoulder because you can't see it. Yo,
Yeah.
like that makes it so scary. Like that mentality of like you can't really see very much. Like having been a Florida person for some time now, a resident for some time now, and
Hmm.
like gone through several hurricanes where there's no power and you have to use candles, like sure, it can be romantic, but also there's a lot of things that you miss. And if something was hunting you in the dark, you're not going to know. Like you're not going
Yeah.
to know until it's like on you, you know, let alone a vampire that you're like trying to mac it with. Like it was over before it began for those two women.
Yeah. After this last hurricane, though, I've decided I'm getting camping gear. I'm getting a fucking camping stove. I'm gonna have canned soup on hand at all times during hurricane season because I am over it. I lost power for like 2 weeks. It was terrible, and I
Awful.
just could not survive.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're gonna catch
Like
me with a can warmer, living it up.
yeah, man. This is what I'm saying though. Like I just sometimes like historical fiction, like I'm reading it and I'm just like, no. But then like an event will happen like that where you like get
Hmm.
brought back to the Stone Ages and you're like, all right, I guess that's kind of believable then. Never mind.
Yeah,
I might have been a little too quick to judge.
having to shower with a bucket. I was like, all right,
I get it. I get it. All right.
yeah. Yeah. Whenever they're like, yeah, I had to like warm each bucket over the fire and then so I could take a warm bath. And I always was like, why would you do that? Like, wouldn't you just take a cold? And then, I took a cold bath and I was like, okay, all right. You know what? I get it.
Fuck
Never
this
mind.
shit.
Nope.
Yeah.
I completely understand. I will not judge you ever again. Thank you.
Oh my god.
So, yeah, basically, Lestat kills both girls. Louis like, you know what, Lestat, I'm leaving you. I'm over it. I'm
Mm-hmm.
done. Lestat's like, there's literally no other vampires like you, Louis.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not gonna find anybody to hang out with. They're gonna think you're weird.
Such peer pressure. Such peer pressure. You can't go be friends with anybody else because I'm the only person that would put up with your heinous bullshit. So,
And then Lestat says that Louis is his slave, and I was like,
yep.
oh, I
Yep.
mean, what?
Like, he's not wrong, though.
Yeah,
Like, he has unwittingly become his slave. Like,
yeah.
he does so much for him thanklessly. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and without any kind of recompense whatsoever. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, it's a hard truth. And he's
Mm-hmm.
like, I don't want to do it. I'm not doing it anymore. You go fuck yourself, Lestat. I'm not doing it. And then, like, 5 minutes later, Lestat's like, are you sure, though? You
Yeah.
sure? Positive?
Uh, Master manipulator, honestly.
Look at this girl. She's suffering. You just gonna let her suffer? You're just gonna let her, like, sit here
Literally.
bleeding out? This is a terrible way to die. Look at how much pain she's in, Louis. You could end this. You could end her suffering right now. And Louis like, oh, I hate you so much. Ooh, you really get me, buddy. You really get me. Oh yeah, I see what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like such
Mm-hmm.
passive aggressiveness between these vampires.
Yeah, and it's very good.
It is. It's so juicy.
It's so juicy. So Lestat is like trying to like read one of the girls. It's really weird, and then she's like just dying, and he's like torturing her for
Mm-hmm.
no reason, just for funsies.
Yep.
And then Louis finally just drains the girl dry to like put her out
Mm-hmm.
of her misery.
Yep.
And Lestat like kidnaps Louis and
Mm-hmm.
makes him drink blood, which is very strange.
Yeah.
And then he kidnaps the little girl, and then Louis gets like hypnotized in a way to like turning the little girl.
So like, I think it's because Lestat knows how to like prey on his like because Louis keeps his humanity. Like he keeps
Hmm.
more of his humanity than most vampires. So that's like what Lestat is like a master manipulator of because like after Louis like there's that whole part where Louis like realizes how much Lestat did before he brought those girls home. Like he like goes to he like calls the authorities and tells
Mhm.
them, hey, this little girl's alive and she's like living in filth. And they like go get her and put her in an orphanage. So then she's like with other kids her age and she's like on the mend from this fucking vicious vampire attack. And she's like
Mhm.
trying to live her life, right? And like bounce back because kids are really like, fucking versatile and like they're really good at like being hardy, because they're
Mhm.
young. And he basically like triggers him
Yeah.
into like feeding on her a second time because he's like, remember how good it was? It was really good.
Yeah.
I have her here. Like he takes him to the orphanage like they're gonna adopt this child as like parents or something. Like
I
it's so fucked
know.
up. Like it's so fucked up. Like the mind games this dude is playing are just like next level. Like for the 1700s, these are like some real 2000s mind games. Like there could be an
Mhm.
MTV TV show about this. Like
Facts. Facts. And then, basically Claudia fully becomes a vampire and Louis gets baby trapped.
yep, that's it. That's it.
Yep.
Now we have to be together. We're just a family, Louis. This is what you wanted. Remember that time in like
Uh,
in chapter 1 part 1, just the very first like 4 pages when you were like, I love having a family. Remember that? Yeah, well, we
here you
got a
go.
family. We got a family now. I bought us this really cute house and we can
Mhm.
all have coffins and she can sleep in your coffin because I know how close you are and you want to be a good mama. So here you go, buddy. And I'm going to go out every night. I'm going to get us blood. I'm going to be a good papa bear. It's going to be great.
Mhm. Mhm. Yep, that's
Ridiculous.
basically what happens.
Ridiculous.
Mhm.
Like
It is indeed.
ridiculous.
Truly.
Like just horrible. And like Louis
Yeah.
is like, yo, you're dead to me. I hate you so much. You're dead to me. I can't stand you, but also I'm not gonna leave because we do have a child and that's important. And I'm like,
He's like the nuclear family.
just go, dude. Just go. It's not worth
Oh
your
my god.
time. It's not worth
Literally.
it.
Literally,
Oh my
though.
god.
Yeah, it's insane. But that is all we're going to have time for today. Because a good note to end it on, I think.
I think so too. Especially because there's like that's an opening for our next discussion. About this
Mhm.
boy that's been listening the whole time and is like, what the fuck is even happening in this story?
Yeah. Just sweating.
Yeah. Louis like, are you okay? The boy's like, what? Did you ask me something? I'm sorry, I was too busy thinking about you killing the
Yeah.
child. My
Yeah,
bad.
he's like, am I okay here? Like, what are you eating right now?
Yeah. Can I get you a delivery boy? Is there something I
Yeah.
can do?
He's like, do you need a drink? I think I
Oh
might
my
need a
god.
drink.
Oh my god.
But Candace, where can the people of the internet find you and your stuff?
You can find me doing a variety of things. You can find me at that Candace girl on Twitter until that crashes and burns. And then you can find me everywhere else at Candace the Magnificent. I am a TTRPG performer and a writer. So you can find me doing that kind of stuff all over the internet. If you follow me on social, I'll almost always post where I'm going to be next. And if you're into Twitch and video games and Legos and ukulele covers, please head on over to my Twitch channel, which is Candace Magnificent, for some fun stuff and hijinks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you'll also be here next week.
I
And we'll
sure
catch you
will.
all then. Bye.
Bye.